Do you ever feel like everything's piling up? Like there's never enough time in the day? The harder you work, the less progress you seem to make? I think all of us have been there at one time or another. In fact, not long ago, I was reading a 2024 report on work stress, and it showed that 90% of employees say that they feel stress at work, and 44% of those are considering quitting in the next 6 months. That's a real problem. And where there's stress, overwhelm is usually just right around the corner. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to find calm in the chaos and to move forward, even when life feels overwhelming. Well, welcome to the Reese Cagle Leadership Podcast. Let me tell you, I love every opportunity that we get to have a conversation, and today's episode is no exception. It's one that I believe is going to not only be helpful, but it's going to be practical and encouraging as well. Because we're going to dive into a topic that every leader seems to face, but few talk about it out loud. The thought of this topic actually came to me a few weeks ago when I was coaching a leader, and in the middle of our conversation, he surprised me with a very direct question. He said, "What do I do when I feel overwhelmed?" Now, that's a great question. But let's be honest, most people don't want to admit that they feel that way, or at least admit it out loud. But I could tell this leader was ready for a change. And maybe you're ready for a change. So I took a few moments, I shared some thoughts with him, and then afterwards I thought this needs to be an episode. Because while overwhelm might look different for each of us, we all run into it at some point. Maybe for you, it's a packed schedule, or it could be an unexpected challenge that you find yourself in the middle of right now. Or maybe it's one of those seasons where everything seems to be happening at once. Whatever your situation, I want you to know that you're not alone. We've all had those moments where overwhelm sneaks up on us and derails our focus. But here's the good news. You don't have to let overwhelm win. What if instead of reacting to it, we could pause, refocus, and actually regain control? Here's a thought I want you to hold on to. Overwhelm isn't a stop sign. It's a warning light. It's not telling you to quit. It's not telling you to give up. It's simply a signal letting you know that it's time to check on what's going on under the surface. And it's a reminder for all of us to slow down and to realign our focus. So I want us in today's episode to get practical for a moment. And I want to help you understand what you can do when that warning light starts flashing. Well, I've got 3 tips for you that really have helped me and others navigate overwhelm and come out stronger on the other side. So let's look at our first tip together. Tip number 1 is to pause and breathe. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This isn't my natural response. I usually want to just push through, grind it out, get it done. But over the years, I've learned that powering through usually just piles on more pressure. Instead, I've learned to make it a point just to pause and to breathe. Let's try it. See how easy that is? I actually learned that a few slow, deep breaths can reset your nervous system. They can clear your mind, and they can help you move from reaction mode to intentional mode. And when I calm my mind, that calmness also leads, in many cases, to clarity as well. I see things I didn't see before. I understand things in a new way. So this is why calming your mind and breathing is so important. Let me give you one method that I use. It's called the 4-7-8 breathing technique. I actually practice this in the sauna pretty regularly, and it has become my go-to intense, high-pressure moments. And I like it because it's both simple and powerful. It's definitely worth a Google after this episode. Now that leads us to tip number 2, which is to prioritize and simplify. You don't have to be in leadership for very long to realize that one of the fastest paths to overwhelm is really trying to do everything at once. And if you haven't learned that yet, trust me, you will. So here's what I do. I take a few minutes for what I call a capture session. This is where I write down everything that's swirling around in my head. Everything I need to do, every thought, every worry. I put it all on paper, and then I ask myself, what actually needs my attention right now? Not tomorrow, not eventually, right now. And then I choose to do one or two of those things, one or two that I can focus on. And you know what the rest will have to do? It'll have to wait. And I know that's tough because everything feels urgent. But the real skill here is knowing what's truly important, separating those two, separating what's only urgent and what's urgent important. Because the truly important things, those are the things that are going to move you forward. That's the secret. When I take time to just simplify my focus, I find that it brings order to the chaos that's going on around me. Okay, now for our final tip. Tip number 3. Take one small action. Don't get me wrong. It's good to pause and reflect. But if that's all that we do, we're going to stay stuck. And Overwhelm loves to keep you stuck. But what's the way out? The way out is movement. The good news is you don't have to make a big move. Just make a move. Pick one small thing that you can do right now. I call this choosing the simple win. And then when you do that, and then you do it again and choose the next one, and then you do it again and choose the next one, you're going to find that small actions build momentum. And momentum is what's going to break the cycle of stress. I remind myself often, clarity doesn't come from overthinking. Clarity comes from action. So start small, prioritize what matters, and focus on what you can control. Now, before we wrap up, I've got a reflection question for you. Because as you've heard me say, reflection is a leader's superpower. Here's your question. What's one area of your life right now that feels overwhelming? And then I want you to think about, what would it look like to pause, prioritize, and take one small step in that area? Well, I hope today's episode brings a little calm to your chaos. And I hope you feel more equipped next time that overwhelm tries to sneak in. Because now you've got a plan to breathe, to write down your priorities, and to take action. You can do this. Well, go put it into practice. Keep thinking big. Make every single day count. And I hope you know how much I believe in you. Well, if you found value in this episode, I would be so thankful if you would like, subscribe, or share it with someone else who you think would find value in it as well. I can't wait to see you in the next episode.